Hi, I'm Harry. This is my channel. Mostly I put animation up here, but I also do music and writing. I've done one video game and now I'm working on another one very slowly. I wanted to do a devlog of sorts, but I don't really have a format or a style in mind for that. I feel like the thing that I've seen folks do is like they intercut it with a bunch of memes, and I don't really know a lot of memes. I don't do a lot of memes like on social media or anything. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about what I'm working on. I have wanted to make a game inspired by something like Dead Space for a long time. So that's what I'm working on. And the first big hurdle was working on the character's movement controller. So I finished that. Now there's now a movement controller that can move forward, back, left, and right. It has a mode where it will follow the camera. It has a mode where the character follows the direction of movement. The character can jump and crouch and crawl. Some of the functionality is not stuff that you typically see in like a survival horror game, but I wanted to have the options. The big thing that I needed to work in was the EVA movement, because I really like the EVA movement that they added to at the beginning of like Dead Space 3, and then included in the Dead Space remake. I think your space horror game should have sections in space. The big hurdle was getting some third-person shooter movement controls that I found online through some tutorials. I will link the channels of the people that I followed or watched the videos of to learn how to do this in the description. But I had to change things a little bit so that movement was always relative to how the character landed, so that when the character goes from EVA to walking around on walls when they're in zero gravity, that the movement controls work exactly the same. So that's all the progress that I've made. It's a little pill shape that can move around. And I'm happy about that, and I'm happy with how the EVA movement works. The next thing is going to be adding the ability for the character to aim a weapon, and that's going to require also putting together the mesh. I have a mesh that I've been working with, but I want to make something that's a little more general purpose. That's probably going to be the next thing, is making the mesh and then making it work so that the upper half of the body can do things like shoot and push buttons on doors and stuff. Yeah. So if you're interested in a potential Dead Space-like game, that's what I'm working on. I didn't have a way to conclude this. So bippity bop zap, that's it. Okay, bye.